There's something I've always wanted to do is just to honestly record and just play some Minecraft. But I didn't want to just be like every other creator and just, I don't know, high energy, like, hey, let's do this tutorial, a bunch of editing. I wanted to like walk through different things. I wanted to walk through what people thought about things, how people maybe viewed certain topics. And I think the biggest thing is right now I feel like in our society so many people have a huge issue with relationships or feeling like they need someone. They need something out there, right? Like we're always looking for somebody. And I just don't think that that's necessarily going to help anyone, realistically, in the long term of things, I guess. Not that finding a person is wrong, but it's not going to bring you the satisfaction that you're looking for. It's not going to fill that hole in your heart, finding that person. And honestly, for me, I think that's been such a huge realization lately, because for a really long time now, I think I've idolized relationships. I've idolized getting married and, having a family, having kids, and just that whole process of having someone with you, next to you, by your side. And that's a good thing. Like, I don't know who would, I'm sure there's some people that would argue against it, but I mean, how could you say not having a family or having a family is a bad thing? Because realistically, I just don't see how you could say that. But for me, it became an issue and it became everything that I would think about. And all I wanted to do was find somebody, was to just pursue someone just to gratify what I wanted. And I think when you do that, when you are only looking for somebody out of trying to fulfill your desires, I think you begin to objectify them. And instead of truly loving somebody, it's more of just you finding a way, a means to an end, a way to bring your self-satisfaction. And that in and of itself is an issue. Because if you truly want to love somebody, wouldn't you want to love them just because you love them and not just because they give something back? I think of like how we view sacrificial love as one of the greatest things, or at least I do. And I think a lot of the people I know would probably say the same thing, that sacrificial love is amazing. It is like glorified, it's looked on upon, especially for men, like, oh, I would die for you, But, sacrificial love is not just, oh, I would die for you. It's saying I'll wake up every day and choose to serve you and choose to be there for you, even when it's not easy, even when I'm angry, even when I'm tired, even when I'm mad. That's what it means, I think. Sacrificial love at its core is denying yourself for the gain of someone else. And it's not easy. It's really not. I think of the countless times in my own life where I've tried to do that for other people. I've tried to have that sacrificial love and just care for them. And it reminds me of how many times I've screwed up simply because I let my own desires, my own selfishness, realistically, take over. And it leads to ruin, honestly. And it's so easy for us to just be okay with that. To say, oh, well, it didn't work. This relationship wasn't meant to be. If they truly loved me, they would have made it work, or it would have worked out. But I think another thing is so many people idolize just finding that one. Like, there's the one out there waiting for them, their soulmate, you could say. And I don't think that's realistic. I don't think it's realistic like that everyone just has their soulmate out there. Like, oh man, I gotta go travel to Egypt or something to go find my soulmate, because who knows where they are. But no, I think anyone can realistically be someone good for you. Obviously, there's people who might be better, or people who are just not well suited for you. And I think that's where discernment comes in. But I think realistically, if you try and work hard enough, anybody can be that person to you. Anybody can become the one, the love that you are looking for. And again, it's a good thing to want relations, to want relationship. It's just, is that what's at the center of your life? Because when it was for me, and honestly, I say that with a grain of salt, because it's not like, oh man, I realized this is an issue, but now I'm good because I realized it. No, it's more like I understand it and I'm aware of it. And so now I'm trying to actively go against that innate desire of mine to just want relationship, to want somebody close to me, to want somebody who admires me, someone I can take care of, you know. But when you do find that person, or when you're looking for that person, I should say, I think it can really be anyone. As long as you say, this is the person I want to commit to, this is the person I want to fight for, this is the person I want to love, I really think it can work. Now, obviously, there might be times where you're just like, you know, I thought this was them. I thought this was the person. And you realize, maybe too late, that they definitely aren't. And that sucks. It really does suck. Because you thought they were the one, you thought it was going to work, you thought it was great. Maybe it was. And then, too little too late, you find out, dang, my heart is just not in this anymore. I think there's something to say that when you're in married, that doesn't fly anymore. When you're married, just because the feeling's not there, you don't just leave. You don't just up and go. You know, that same mindset of I can find something, it just doesn't work. Because once you're married, it's anybody who's looking for someone. But again, you're not going to fill that hole in your heart just by finding that relationship, which I think so many young men and even young women, I think, are trying to pursue nowadays. Just that guy or that girl that's gonna fill that hole in their heart, or who are gonna give them the answer they've been looking for. I think what you have to do initially is find the answer for yourself first. And for me, it is God, and it's Jesus, and it's the salvation knowing that, like, He is my answer. He's my rock. Like, literally nothing else matters apart from Him. And when you have that foundation, when you have, like, the answer you're already looking for that, fills that hole in your heart, you're not looking at somebody else to fill that for you. Because realistically, how unfair is it to have somebody try and take on that task? Like, that's too much of a burden for realistically anyone. And so, for me, finding my finding my peace and finding my satisfaction and completeness in Christ, it provides that foundation again of, I don't need somebody else to fill this hole in my heart, because I have God to do that, right? And just this person is an added bonus. This person is a benefit on top of that. So whatever it is in your life, like, you need to be doing, get on that before you go and seek a relationship. Now, not saying, like, you have to be perfect or you have to be completely set before getting into a relationship. Like, obviously, you go into a relationship not being perfect, and you guys help each other out. But don't go into a relationship knowing full well that you have a bunch of toxic traits or that you're broken in a bunch of areas. Like, get help. Like, find a therapist, find a mentor, walk through a book with a friend, or take time to analyze what's going on in your own life before you bring that other person into yours. There's really nothing around. Jeez, it's all ice. But when you do that again, when you start to really uncover your own problems, when you start to focus on bettering yourself, focus on working on yourself, that's the best thing you could do for that person, is to better yourself and make yourself ready for that relationship. I'm in a season right now in my own life where I am pursuing a long season of singleness, in pursuit of the fact that I want to become a better man. I want to become a better person. I want to become more like Jesus, so that when I do pursue a relationship, and when the Lord does provide me that opportunity, I'm well equipped, and I'm not bringing nothing to the table. I'm not bringing a bunch of toxicness, a bunch of toxic traits to the table, a bunch of burdens and baggage that's just going to weigh us both down. Which I think a lot of people are expecting a relationship to fix them. And that's unrealistic. And it's sad. Because how do you expect someone else to fix you if you can't fix yourself? How do you expect them to be the answer to your life if You aren't even willing to take the jump towards fixing it yourself. All that to say is relationships are a good thing. Relationships are beautiful. Honestly, marriage is such a beautiful thing. But it is not going to give you complete satisfaction. It's not going to be the answer that you've been looking for. It's not going to be, I'm finally healed. I'm finally fixed. I finally understand it now. Because realistically, it's not. It's just not going to be. Whatever you want it to be, it'll be way less than you had hoped for. And it'll just leave you wishing for more and unsatisfied. So I think, and I don't say any of this to feel like I'm smarter than anyone. I don't think that's what advice really is. I think advice is just, I've made the same mistake as you, and I don't want you to do the same. So let me give you a little word, a word of wisdom. So don't idolize relationship. Don't feel like that's what's the answer to everything. It's a good thing. Pursue it, but better yourself before doing so. And when the opportunity comes, be a good person to them. Respect them. Honor them. And everything else will fall into place.